2014, Martha was taken to one of Ireland's main Magdalene asylums, which provided secure accommodation for hundreds of women. The girls who made the journey to these institutions had no idea of the fate that awaited them. Phyllis Valentine grew up in an orphanage in County Clare. At 15, she was told the church had found her work in a laundry.
I went with the nuns and the priest, and we went to Galway. And I shall never forget the day as long as I live. These big, big gates opened. All you could see was these bars on the windows, big high walls. And I went in through this gravel path. 2 or 3 nuns came out and a priest came out. Well, he was a bishop, I think. He had a red robe on. And he came out to meet me. And I was brought in this long, long corridor.
Still distraught after the separation from her baby son, Christina Mulcahy was sent by her family to a Magdalene asylum in Galway, run by the Sisters of Mercy.
I felt like, I think I'd gone crazy. I was full of breast milk. I didn't know how I would explain to the nuns how I felt, and I could feel a fever all in me, and I was sick. I think I went to their sick bay for about a week, and when I came out of there, my clothes were confiscated, and I was put into this old brown coarse material.
They took away my clothes, and they gave me this horrible, ugly, drab, I suppose, uniform. They were shapeless, and they were meant to make you as ugly as possibly could.
She told me I'd have to have my hair cut because my hair was long, and she said they didn't allow long hair, that my hair would have to be cut, but I had it nicely tied up in a ponytail, and I wanted my hair long. And I think I started crying, like, but my hair was cut. It was cut right up to about my ears.
Just as Mary Magdalene, the repentant prostitute, had to reject her sexuality for her soul to be saved, so too did the girls who entered the Magdalene asylum. They were called penitents, and with their hair cropped and wearing drab uniforms little changed since Victorian times, their penance was to work in Magdalene laundries for no pay. The labour was symbolic, the purging of sin by the washing of dirty linen.
We worked all the time, and the work was very hard because we had to bend over the big sinks, washing, scrubbing, collars, cuffs. And we also ironed very, very heavy starched altar linen and surplices that the priest wore. And I got varicose veins from the ironing at 15. And I was told that that was a very privileged job to do.
I did ask to be paid the first week that I worked there. They just laughed at me. They really did laugh. I felt degraded. And that's when the sister turned round and told me that I was here and I would stay here until somebody came to fetch me.
I thought maybe we'd do 6 months there and then be let out, and that I would be allowed to go and see my baby. And when I went, first place they put me into the laundry. So I used to keep saying, when do you think I'll be going home, but when will I be going out? And one day one girl said to me, once you come here you won't be going out.
The Magdalene asylums were cut off from the outside world, run by orders of nuns, their lives dedicated to the service and worship of God. Some of the penitents were not told why they'd been sent to work in the laundries. Phyllis Valentine only discovered the truth after several years' incarceration.
When I was young, I was thought to be pretty. Well, some of the girls thought I was quite pretty. I had quite nice hair. And I did ask Sister once why I was sent from the orphanage straight to the Magdalene laundry. And this sister said to me, "You're as pretty as a picture." And I hadn't heard what she said first, and I asked her to repeat it. And she repeated, "You're as pretty as a picture," she said. And she said, "The nuns sent you here because they were afraid you'd fall away. Falling away meant you'd get pregnant, and that would be another mouth for them to feed. So it was best for you to go to the Magdalene laundry, stay there, which was dominated by nuns and priests, and they knew then that you wouldn't get into any trouble." So I was put to the Magdalene laundry for that reason only.
The regime in the laundries was relentless. The Magdalene penitents worked 6 days a week, 52 weeks a year, from early in the morning until late at night.
We were caged, and we were powerless to do anything about it. We had no recreation, anything, just work and prayer and silence and atoning for the sins, and how wicked you were. And they reckoned, they told us every so often that Mary Magdalene was forgiven, so we would be forgiven in time.
We used to have to bow to the nuns every time that we saw them. And if a nun was coming towards you, you had to stand still, like to let her pass, as a mark of respect.
When you committed a small misdemeanor, you had to kneel down in front of the nun, and you had to say, "I am so sorry, Mother. Please forgive me. I won't do it again." And she graciously forgave you.
You see, the nuns, they were gods to you. You didn't dare question them. What they'd done was right, and you followed their instructions to the letter. You didn't dare. It was simple as that. You just done what you were told.
We were told that special friendships wasn't allowed in there, and the only thing that made you happy was the love of God, and to be detached from all things and people was a truly spiritual way.
In order to encourage them to forget their sinful past, the women were made to work in silence. But after 6 months in the Magdalene asylum, Christina Mulcahy had not yet given up hope of being reunited with her son and was desperate for news of him.
A young girl came in, and we're not supposed to ask any questions of anybody, where they came from, or were they from the street, or what area they came from, or anything. Let them come in and not even be friendly with them, you know. This girl was sent to the section I was in. I said, did you come from the baby home, the mother and baby home? And she said yes. And I asked, did she know about my little boy? And she said, oh, he was okay, and she knew him, and that he would soon be boarded out. And I went berserk, nearly went mad, and they wondered why I was crying. And she said to me one day, this nun said to me one day, why was I upset? And I said, I think it's coming to the time that my little baby will be either sent to a foster home or to one of these institutions where little boys are sent and they don't get treated well, you know. And I couldn't pass my views on, but I said when he was a baby that I didn't want him adopted, ever.
And the women there were absolutely desperate to find out where their children were. Absolutely desperate. And when they did say that the children was adopted, it was very sad. It was really very sad. Because all the girl could do was cry. That's all she could do. There was nothing else she could do, cry. A lot did have tantrums. They'd smash things up, smash windows, kick the machines, things like that. Some of the girls did get punished, and they used to get pushed about quite a bit, punched, slapped. The nuns had this black leather belt that was tied round their waist and hung quite to the ground, and they used to wrap it up in their hand and really hit you hard with it. They were very vicious, some of the nuns, very, very vicious.
The regime worked to break the remaining bond between the mother and the separated child. However, Christina was not a willing penitent.
I stopped working. I stopped. I went and sat down. I sat in the recreation room, and wouldn't come out of the recreation room. They asked me to leave the recreation room. I went and sat on the stairs. They locked the recreation room door, and I sat on the stairs. And it was then that the sister came up, and she had this belt around her, and the end of the belt, it was along like a strap, and she was waving the strap. You know, she was waving this thing about to get off the stairs and go to work. I said, you promised me that I go out to see my child. You promised me I'll go to work. You promised me I go to see my child. That's all I am asking. I'm a sensible person. I am not daft or crazy or criminal. All I want is to see my child. And she was waving this thing. I said, now, and she was coming closer to me, you lift your hand and hit me, I will kill you. I mean what I'm saying. And I felt that surge. I felt I would kill her. I tell you, I would have never seen my child because I'd have been put to prison. I wouldn't end up, and they may have kept me there, but that's all I wanted, to see my child.